Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Mommy Guide Inc. For those who are new to the channel and you do not know me yet, I am Mommy Lala. And today is our continuing series of Craft Everyday in August, where our focus is on the crafty basics. Yes, we have been going through this. This is now, I think, our 11th day, right? We skipped 2 days actually because I was sick, and then the other one was I had a different kind of live stream, but I did go live, except that it was not a crafty basic, right? So that was for the Kendra's Card Challenge live stream hub for the month of August, and a little bit of a chit chat in one in my workplace. So again, thank you so much for dropping by. Pretty early in the chat today is our dear friend Yvette, who is on her way to Aquafit. Right? So let's take that initiative from Yvette and start focusing on our health as well. All right. And of course, our dear friend Susan. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Okay, to all of you from our dear friend Susan. All right. So on that note, let's start. Okay. So today is all about everything letterpress. Okay. So, okay. Letterpress. Okay, so in the original letterpress, it actually involves a huge machine, and it really it adds texture and wow to your craft. So this is what it actually looks like. So each of those letters had to be put together, right? And then you run it through. Okay, very similar to what we are actually doing, but a little bit more tedious. Okay, but those kinds of letterpress machines last forever. I only have one friend who actually has that original kind of letterpress. Okay, and now a short history, not foiling, but letterpress. I forgot to change that. This is letterpress. All right. So its history started in the 1400s, invented by Johannes Gutenberg for printing books. Up to now, it's still actually used. It's used for centuries in publishing, stationery, and art printing, right? So today, it's revived in high-end invitations, art prints, and of course, crafting. So what is the appeal? The appeal? The appeal. The appeal is that it has that luxurious feel and timeless design. And that's why I love it as well so much. All right. So, okay, Yvette has been... Oh, okay. I have been dealing with migraines almost... High five, my friend. I wake up with a migraine and I go to bed with a migraine, right? But I know the reason for mine is my sinus flooring actually has lowered, of age and stuff. So that if I have just a little bit of an infection, I have sinusitis, and that radiates towards, me getting migraine. So that was the start of that one. I hope you feel better soon, Yvette. I do know, even if we sleep, this migraine doesn't go away. So it's really a pain. So I hope Yvette feels better. And Jaden, hello, hello. All right. And so, okay. So that is, okay. So for today's crafters, my F's and my P's, okay, are getting mixed up today. So it's affordable. Affordable tools bring the technique to home studios. Yeah, so I'll show you two machines that I actually have been using for letterpressing. The other one I got about 11 years ago when it was introduced. Okay, and then fairly recently, about 2 years ago, another one was introduced, and this has made it even better for us, okay, want to do it at home. So now you don't actually need, okay, for a large printing press. All right, so manual machines and embossing tools now work. We actually showcased some of, the basics of embossing in the previous episodes. And now we're doing the letterpressing. So this is like the opposite, because letterpress gives us a debossed look, right? So it's the opposite of the emboss, where it's a little bit raised. Okay, and then of course, this is perfect for green cards, wedding invites, journals and planners, tags and labels, and of course, scrapbook titles. All right. So let me just fix me because I'm kind of getting out of the frame. All right. Okay. So, okay. Now, what are the tools that you will need? Okay. So, of course, you should have that letterpress platform. Okay, so before the advent of these machines, I tried. I would try to sandwich the dies or using embossing, those rubber. Okay, but it isn't that clean, and the results were not always repeatable, right? So it took a while, and when they did release this, I was over the moon. Okay, truth be told, what are my favorite techniques when it comes to card making? Foiling and letterpressing. Simply because if you don't have time and you want to create easy, fast but awesome cards, these two techniques are my go-to ways to do that. Okay, so of course you need to have the printing plates, okay, or the letterpress plates as we call them now. So, and then you have to have the inks. So you need to have the machine that will help you do the letter pressing. You need the letterpress plates as we call it. And then you need the inks to put, the ink onto those plates. So the inks are supposedly oil-based or specially formulated for letterpress inks, okay? So they're a little bit thicker because this is supposed to go debossed. So it's gonna go in, right? So having that kind of a specialty ink helps. But our dear friend, okay, one of our dear friends in the community, Lynn of LV Handcrafted, I don't remember if it was a year ago or 2 years ago, where she actually did a comparison of course, she bought what is the required ink for that specific letterpress machine. I'll show it to you in a bit. And then she also did comparison with all the inks that she has. So if you want to know or to check out, how about if I have this ink, what would it look like? So she did all the work for us, okay? And after this video, I will link that video, okay, in the description so that you can refer to that. It's a very comprehensive video. And of course, brayer for even ink application. So when this was introduced the first time, the inks came in tubes, just like the watercolor tubes, and then you put it on a non-porous surface, let's say an acrylic surface or a glass, and then you brayer it off. Monoprinting, very similar to that, just like a gel plate. Okay, so very similar. Okay, and then you brayer it onto the letterpress plates. I don't have those kinds of inks anymore. One of the reasons I had to stop using the original machine is because initially that's how the inks came with the machine, okay? And then the ones that actually where I bought the machine eventually didn't sell the ink, so I stopped until the newest machine came out. Okay, and now this time around it came in ink pad, so it was easier. And then finally, your paper does matter, because the more cotton rich your paper is or are, the better the impressions are, okay? So again, cotton rich are most of the time your watercolor papers, and yes, they are more expensive than the normal ones that we use. But how about those hammer mill, and like in my case, my Italian paper that I use, okay, from Fedrigoni, okay, which is the Bevania Splendor Gel, okay, you can still use that. It's just that the impressions that they make aren't as nice and aren't as luxe feeling as that when you use your, cotton paper, okay? And the manufacturers actually sell that either in bulk or in retail, okay? So, okay, again, it says soft fibers take impressions better. And of course, cleaning supplies, okay? Your soft cloth, mild cleaner. Okay, so again, these inks are a little bit thicker and most of the time oil based, and because they didn't really tell us exactly, unlike other inks. They say, oh, this is a dye based ink, this is a pigment ink, this one is, they always say it's a specialized ink. But having watched and gone through many videos about it, I went back to the manufacturer itself, Spell Binders, and they said that the nearest one that they can describe it is that of the archival ink. But they made it even better and asked, had a talk with a chemist over there at Ranger to come up with what we actually have right now in the market. All right. So basically, those are the tools that you need. Okay. So I will showcase to you what these are. Okay. So first, let's go. Okay, Jaden is saying, please do rest, Yvette. Okay. Oh, wow. Sorry. Sorry, my friends. That was so tiny. I don't know if, I could not even read that. Okay. Sinus infections are a regular thing for me too. And they do trigger migraines. Exactly. That's the same trigger for me. Dust and light. Okay, those are my triggers. Okay, hi Wims, good evening. And thank you so much for reminding us to please don't forget to hit that like. Because when you do that and you do it earlier in the live stream, the video gets pushed more. All right. So thank you so much again for being here. And I hope that this topic actually is exciting, or topic is something that you would probably enjoy. All right. So let's go down a little bit about memory lane. As I said, letterpressing is something, because earlier on in my journey as a crafter, before I actually became a content creator, when I still didn't have kids, I used to do personalized invitations, stuff like that. Of course, when I had kids, I need more time with them, so I had to stop doing that. So one of the things that I realized that people really want in terms of personalized stuff invitation is they want it, especially during weddings, they want it to look really luxurious, okay, elegant. Okay, unless it's really the theme is like a DIY or handmade stuff like that. So I had always wished, because the thing is, I would have to, look for a commercial printer if they want the DBOS kind of invitation. So the thing is, I said, why is it that at that time we already have die cutting machines and stuff, right? Embossing, but none yet letter pressing. And finally, about 11, 12 years ago, this was introduced, okay? So the thing is, when I realized that it's already here in the Philippines, the machine is gone. Okay, so the only thing that was available for me to buy from Lasting Impression, which is one of my dear partner stores for the show, is the letterpress plate. Okay, so this is what the letterpress plate looks like. So remember, it does look like our stamping platform, like a door on a hinge, right? The acrylic cover. But look at how thick this one. Okay, and then it has another plate with registration marks on it. Okay, and look at this one. This is actually to fit an A2 size card. And on top of that, the plate or the door has a mirror image of that one, so that if you want to eventually align your card base of an A2 size card, it's easy. All right, and of course there's a shim inside. This is originally just a regular shim, but then I realized that every time I use it, somehow it gets dirty. So what I did was to have it laminated, but in doing so, it actually added a bit of a thickness to it, so that when you put this already, it doesn't really lay flat anymore. There's a little bit of, a certain height to it. Now, I've had this for more than 11 years. All right. So, and then several years after buying this, the machine got replenished. And this time around, this machine actually was available. So I was using this with my what do you call this? My Big Shot, okay, and my Big Shot and what's the other one? No, not the Sidekick, but anyways, the other one. So those two. So I had to find out what shim, okay, what layering I should do to actually get that perfect pressure. And then this became available. Okay, and one of our crafters in the community actually destashed this one. And so I got it from her. All right, and then okay, so now I am able to use my plate where it's the letterpress plate where it's really intended to. All right, so this one is actually okay, an awesome machine because it can do, okay, let me see. Let me just remove. Okay, so the handle actually can be removed. Okay, there's a lock that you just go up and down and then you can remove. Okay, so that I can show you this one. All right. So in this part, it says die cut, letterpress, and then you have emboss. All right. So when you're die cutting, you can actually change the pressure. Okay, just push in and then, move. Okay, so in this case, we're doing letterpressing. So we're going to put it, okay, onto the letterpress, okay, part. All right, so there is that knob which you can turn depending on what you want to do. All right, and look at those, okay, rubber at the bottom, which actually acts as a suction. Okay, so that when you open this two panels on the sides, it will suction off, okay, whatever it is on top of, and that will prevent the machine from moving. All right, so there you go. And then it doesn't move anymore. Okay, so let me just move it a little bit to the left so you know. Okay, so this is, okay, and then of course this one you can place inside one of the panels because this is actually also a container. Okay, so hard. There you go. Okay, so actually when you open it, and then you can put that inside and then you're gonna use it, just close. Okay, and then simply push it in like so, and then there's a lock. Okay, so this one, all you need to do is push it up to lock and then push it down to remove. All right, so because sometimes it's so hard to store it if their arm is over there, right? So it gets in the way. So, and then I will just, okay, lock. And the thing is, the nice thing about this is eventually, because you know how I really have a problem with my hands and my wrist, right? So they came up with an electronic attachment to it, okay, which was awesome because this time around, all you need to do is to, press onto the sides like so, and then push it in. Okay, and then there's a cable that goes there, and then all you need to do is to press this one. Okay, is to press that part, and then it's gonna push the, it's gonna do the process for you. All right, since I forgot the wire at the center, so I will just do the manual. I just showed you that another thing I liked about it is because I can actually do electronic process for it. Okay, so since it can actually do die cutting and embossing, and that's not what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna focus on, okay, hold on, I just need to put this down. I'm gonna focus on the letter pressing part. Okay, so this is an add-on that you need to buy. So this didn't come with the machine. Again, I got this before the actual machine. And so all you need to do is let's say you've already put your sandwich, and then let's glide it through, making sure that you've already made the right setting, which is letterpress. Now, if you could see, I've had it for almost 12 years, and it was still in pristine condition until several hours ago, my friends, because I am so preoccupied. Okay, so I had the original plates for the We Are Memory Keepers inside, which I will show you are actually thicker than the other machine, and I put this through the other machine. and it went through. But I heard a lot of clicking, cracking. And then I said, oh, that's normal. You know how when we die cut, it's normal. Lo and behold, after I opened it, I saw this crack. Look at how thick this is, right? That is so thick. It's about half an inch thick, all right, compared to the usual, plates we have. And oh my gosh, I said, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, included in this, the description of this video is a live stream I did about 2 years ago, where I compared this machine to the current machine I was doing. And that one, I did the right thing. Okay, but today, as I said, I was preoccupied. I did something wrong. And this thing actually cracked. But I'm happy that not all the way, so it can still be used. But also look at this one. This one also cracked. Okay, but again, it's good thing that that's only the sides. And look at that. Those are the pieces of the sides that, okay. So, always follow manufacturer's suggestions, okay? But it's okay. A part and parcel of, experimenting and learning is, you do something like that. And sometimes these kinds of, happy accidents happen. But a little bit sad, as I don't know if ever this gets destroyed eventually, if I can still find a replacement. But I think my local craft store, Lasting Impression, still has a replacement that I can buy eventually, right? So this is for the We Are memory keepers. Okay, now I'll show you what I actually use most of the time now, okay? Let's just first show the parts, all right? So now this one, ow. Okay, I picked up one of the broken parts of that one. Okay, but before I continue on, okay, let me see. I think I saw, okay, Manong B! Kamusta, Manong B? All right, Manong B is social media, not just social media, YouTube channel coach and social media and business coach here based in the Philippines. Hello, Manong B. Thank you so much for dropping by. I'm watching in the background. Need to put Mira to sleep. Yes. Put us in, anyway, you can put on like closed caption, right? So that we don't bother Mira. Yes, Mira is Wim's baby. All right. So Yvette and Jaden and Wims and Manong B. Yes. Thank you, Susan, for greeting everyone. All right. So from this, which was my original letterpress plate, all right. So about 2 years ago, okay, Spellbinders actually released their own letterpress plate. Remember the other day I showed you the glimmer? Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. We did foiling and Spellbinders, the glimmer is compatible. It's a foiling machine. It's compatible with their with their Spellbinders Platinum, which is their, very heavy duty die cutting machine. And so when this came out, I said yes, because I have that Platinum, machine. So definitely I needed and I wanted this one, right? So remember, this one originally, for the ink to be used, you need a brayer, and the inks came in tubes, right? But eventually, when they released the Evolution machine, they now introduce also the ink pads that are in like the regular ink pads, right? Now, this is the Spellbinders Letterpress. Yes, that's the name. Letterpress. All right. So it comes in several parts, okay? So this plastic part, okay, which has some registrations for the size of an A2 and an A7, right? So this is what you call your platen. Remember, because it's the one that flattens, right? Flattens. Okay, very easy, right? And this whole thing is called your chase, because remember, this is actually the main platform that goes into your machine and moves like that. It's like you're chasing it. So easy to remember. This is the chase. This is the platen. But on the chase, okay, you actually have this magnetic. It's like self-healing mat, okay, that we as crafters used to use if we want to cut something and we want to protect our, tabletop or surfaces where we cut, right? So it does have markings and just like a mirror image of the one that is on the platen, okay, like so. So whatever you put there, you would know that somehow it would register in the same place. Okay. Also included onto the chase, okay, are these shims. All right. So there are three kind. Okay, there are three shims, very very thin. Okay, made of plastic. Okay, that you can put. Okay, let's say you're using a thicker paper or a thicker material. So maybe you don't need three shims. Maybe just one. Or maybe if you're using, just a regular, cardstock or card, what do you call this? A card base, then you can put all the three. All right. And then if you can see, this has like metal, what do you call this? Metallic rims on the sides. And if you can see, it's double-sided, right? And then this one, okay, those are magnets attached to those that actually can push in and out. Okay, but the thing is, if you would look, okay, it kind of moves a little. It can wiggle, right? So that's why, unlike when you die cut, right? So you pass it through the machine and then you put it back, you put it back in. So back and forth, back and forth. That is something that I would not suggest that you do here. Okay, but sometimes I think I got a feel of my machine already. So sometimes I do it and it's okay. But there are times that I actually get, mistakes as well. Okay, so you see, it doesn't fit perfectly, it doesn't have wiggle room, so that sometimes a little bit of a movement, okay, once you're making it go through the machine, can give you like a little bit of a ghosting on the imprints, right? So there you go. So of course, this one goes inside like so. Okay, and if you can see that this is not very clean, it does have stains already because I've been using it a lot. Okay, so you actually need to clean it. Okay, so of course immediately I clean it with my baby wipes. And then another thing that I actually forgot to do here right now is your Glad wrap, okay, that plastic that you put on to cover the food, and it wraps perfectly, because the thing is, this is kind of rubbery, right? So to clean it, okay, if you don't put anything on top of it, sometimes it stains. So one thing that I discovered recently is if I wrap that Glad wrap and it's very thin, make sure that it's thin, okay, because you don't want the bulk, okay, because it's gonna make your imprints uneven. So I wrap that, and so it's easier to clean. So the nice thing about the old letterpress, okay, plate from We Are Memory Keepers is that it has plastic, so it's very easy to clean. Okay, this one doesn't even have any, trace of staining, because it's so easy to clean, right? The thing though is it isn't magnetic, right? So it can move. So the possibility of your press plates moving, okay, may occur more than here, because here it's magnetic, right? So, and the press plates for this new one, for the Better Press Letterpress from Spellbinders, is made of metal. Here, they're made of plastic. I'm just going to show you in a little bit, okay? All right, so let's show it side by side. All right, so this is the old one, this is the new one. Okay, let me just go back to the chat first. Okay, and we have Jenna. Hello, Jenna. Thanks for dropping by. All right, so I want to show you what the different plates look like for the We Are Memory Keepers, okay, letterpress system and the Better Press letterpress system. So let's remove first the Spellbinders one, okay, so that we can feature, okay, the Better Press letterpress. Okay, so as I told you the history, I got this. And then, but I couldn't get the machine. So I was trying to make it work with my big shot, okay, big kick. There you go. Not sidekick, the small one's the big kick. All right. So I have all of these plates. This is what the plate look like. All right. For what do you call this? For the original letterpress. So it's made of like acrylic plastic. Okay. So these are the different kinds. Okay. So you see, I actually got whatever is available. I got them. All right. So if you can see, this one's very nice. Okay. It has stain. This one's very, it's like, I forgot what you call this design. Okay. This one's a flower background. Okay. And this one's, okay, there's hair. All right. So these are actually the double-sided tape that came with the machine, or with this ones, the plates. And what you need to do is, it's like a double side. It's very, very thin though. And then you remove it and then you put it there. And then I just don't throw the protective layer, so that after using, I'll just put it back like so. Okay, but this one I accidentally cut. Okay, so let me see. Let's look for, okay, so something like this. So if I want to use it again, I just simply, remove this one. Okay, and then, okay, and I will stick it on to, see? So it's like a double-sided tape, right? So I'll show you in a bit how to use that. Okay, so the thing is, these are, okay, like acrylic plates. Okay, they are the original press plates. So you do get like letters or words, like this one says smile. Let me get a paper. Okay. This one says smile. This one says happy. Okay, happy. All right. Of course, they are mirror image. This is adore. Okay, and then you also have like borders like this. Okay, and then you have like happy birthday, and you have flourishes. All right, and other sentiments that look like this. So, and even an ampersand, right? So, and then this kinds, how in the late 90s, these are very much like in fashion. So I had all of those, but never really got to use it until, I got the evolution machine, because it was actually perfect for this letterpress system. All right. So how do you actually use it? All right. So the thing is, unlike the current one, there is no magnet anywhere. It's all plastic, right? So what you will do is, okay, so let's use this. Okay, so you put that adhesive thing that came, okay, with it. Okay, and then, okay, so you attach it to the base. Okay, so this one. All right, so this is bigger than an A2 size. So it's okay, because normally, okay, I would, what do you call this? I would just ink the middle part. Okay. So I would just do like that. Okay. Okay. So that's the thing though, because it broke earlier on. So it doesn't like fit perfectly in it anymore. Okay. So it's stuck to that. Okay. And then just like the new, method for letter pressing. Okay, now you put your paper. Okay, so the more, what do you call this? The more cotton, okay, your paper contains, the better. All right, so what I do with that is just, I use a washi tape. Okay, slightly tacky tape. Okay, to put my paper. Okay, it does have that, what do you call that? That registration mark, so that and normally I just, just very, very little of the sides. Okay, like so. Okay, so there. Okay, so the paper was on top. Okay, so your press plate is at the bottom. All right, and of course, in the olden days or in the original, with this one, the way you put it is you brayer the ink. Okay, but this time around, okay, I also don't have. Okay, I do have the Better Press Letterpress inks. Okay, but I've had them for a while and I've done so many projects that I feel that they need to be re-inked. So let's just use, because I have the re-inker for my archival ink. So let's use my archival ink instead. Because as this is actually what they said was very, very similar, okay, to what the Better Press Letterpress inks, okay, are made of. Okay, again, this is like plastic, it's not metal. Okay, and the way you put it is you tap it like that and then tap and twist, tap and twist, tap and twist. Okay, so I feel that with this kind of plate, okay, is that the ink, yes, it's there, but I feel that the impression that it makes on the metal plates is better. So you close it. Okay, and then we get the machine. Then we open it. Okay, and that will suction in. And then you just simply, just like die cutting, you just run it through your machine. And as you can see, since this is perfect, I already put it on a letterpress technique. And I can go over it, okay, like die cutting. Okay, back and forth, back and forth. Oops, I think I feel that, somehow it moved. Again, because the lower plate was actually cracked earlier today. So let me see if that somehow, okay, so let's open. Okay, so that's already the impression. So you would see that the impression, though it's debossed and stuff, okay, so the inking isn't, what do you call this? It isn't even, right? So, okay, so let's try to remove this one. Okay, so to remove it, okay, so let's not, you can actually ink it again. I've done that. Okay, so with this machine, I can, but I would not do that with the Better Press Letterpress. All right, so let's just remove this. Okay, and I'll show you how easy it is to clean. Okay, to clean up. Okay, using this system. So it does have its pros and cons, right? So there you go. Okay, so I'll show you the cleanup. So initial, okay, a baby wipe or a rag. A piece of rag. Okay, and then of course remember this has like a double-sided adhesive on it, right? So you can just simply like lift it like so and then remove it. Okay, don't worry, it didn't break. It's just I'm trying to remove the adhesive. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so there it is. Okay, and then the adhesive, you can actually reuse this. All right, so let me get that. So normally when I remove this, I actually remove that this is still part of that one, but okay, I actually removed it. Okay, so you can still reuse because it's still sticky. All right, but then I kind of messed up this one. All right, so just, yeah, I'll fix this later, okay? Or you can just throw this away and get a new one. Okay, but the thing is, it's very, very thin. It's still very sticky, so you can still use that. And then just put this, okay, protective, okay, backing on its side. Okay, now if you have a cleaner, so like let's say for example I'm using stays on cleaner, okay, because that's actually easier to use if you have something like a oil-based inks. Okay, so there you go. And then Okay, this one, I will just wipe as well. And if you can see this one on the cover, that there is the stain. So, okay, the ink. So it easily cleans off. Okay, so that's the nice thing about, this letterpress system is that the easy cleanup. Okay, so for me, that is the best thing about the original letterpress plate from We Are Memory Keepers. Okay, and the press plates are not as expensive as the ones for the current one, because the current one actually uses metal. Okay, and this one more of acrylic, right? So I'll show you some of the prints that I did, okay, earlier on. Okay, so this one, you see it's not perfect. Okay, and then this one, see, this is all the things that broke from the side of that press plate. Okay, so I have here some samples, okay, of my runs earlier. Okay, so there's the hello. Okay, so it does have this hello. Where is that? Okay, so this one, again, it's like acrylic, right? So if you press on it, it does give you that hello. So I just use a yellow archival ink. See that yellow archival ink? Okay, because I ran out of the letterpress, inks a long, long time ago. And this is even worse. Okay, the impression. Okay, so this is the rose. It's nicer, right? So, okay. And this is another one with a wavy design. Okay, so all of this were from the original letterpress machine by We Are Memory Keepers. And there are actually many ways, all right? So I am using a watercolor paper, by the way, for the samples. All right. So now let's go to the letterpress plate. All right. So the only thing that I feel is not good about this one is the cleanup. I would want if it to be, if we can have a better cleanup, easier cleanup, that would be great, because it does clean. It's just that the what do you call this? The staining. Okay. So this is the letterpress plate. So unlike the letterpress plates from We Are Memory Keepers, the plates from Spellbinders are actually metal. Okay, so let's compare. Okay, so look at the thickness. Okay, so this one, okay, just the sides, yes, very comparable, but the images that are raised, this is way, way taller than this one. Okay, so let me, like this one. Okay, here you can definitely see the difference, right? So it's like double the thickness of this is the letterpress plates, and this is the letterpress. So it's thinner. So that's why imagine when I went and run this through the platinum, the Spellbinders platinum, it cracked because it's really thick compared to this one. But if you it the other way around, okay, so the Spellbinders letterpress plates, you run it through the evolution, okay, using the original. Where is it now? Where did I put it? Okay, so the letterpress plates. Okay, using the letterpress plates with this one. So you put it here. I put double-sided adhesive here. Okay, the one that's recommended for this machine. And then I put my paper back there. And then I will get the impression. Okay, and I will use, and I brought this one through the of course it will go through the We Are Memory Keepers machine, but it went through this one as well. Hold on, I'll show you. Okay, it went through this one. Okay, when I did this, it went through here. No issues, no cracking. It was very, very silent, right? And I will show you what it looked like, all right? So in a bit, okay, I'll just show you first. All right, so these are the examples of the letterpress plates from the letterpress system from Spellbinders. So it even has sentiments, and after that, they even included, a die so that you can actually die cut one time, okay, the sentiments. And this I really love, right? So it has thanks, birthday wishes, I adore you, it's your day, celebrate you, made with love. They have many like this for different kinds of occasions. So I love that. This is the one that came with the original letterpress, plate. This will come with it. And I think I sentiment. I forgot where I placed it. Maybe it's there. And this is another one that you can buy separately, of course. I love sentiments, right? Especially for cards. So this is what it looks like. So it does include, the mat, at the same time the words itself, and I like that. Okay, so this one, of course, these are the cutting dies to cut out the letterpress sentiments, and this one are your letterpress plates. Okay, and then they have bigger, like this one, note from me to you. Okay, this one. Okay, so it comes in so many various, designs. And just recently, like several months ago, one of our dear friends, Justine, okay, actually came up with her own line of letterpress collection. This is called Justine's Farm letterpress collection. So she had this one is this is okay, I'm trying to look for her name. It is How Bell. Okay, no, I can't read my handwriting. Hold on. I forgot her name, but anyway, has something like a bell. All right, so she's a lamb. Okay, and then this one is Daisy. She's the pig. Okay, and this is the cow. It's called Clover. Okay, and then it has a set of like feathered friends. This collection is called Feathered Friends. So each of the collections even has, its own coordinating sentiment, and this is the best one thus far. Now the letterpress plates can even come with what we call registration plates. So putting up a scene is actually easy because it gives you something like this, so you know how to put the different plates onto your paper like so. So you just put this, let's say, on your cardstock or your card base, and then you know that this one, okay, will go here, right? And this one will go here. So, when you put like that, that's what it's gonna look like, and it's gonna create, a scene. And then after that, you can remove that, and then you put the house over there, and you can ink it in different colors and so on. So the letterpress has come a long way. It's not just sentiments. You can create amazing images as well. And so Spellbinders has continued to create a lot of amazing, letterpress plates that you can use. Okay, so I want to show you. Okay, this is Cowbell. Okay, look at, okay, this one. Do you know that both of this I letterpress using my old letterpress plate, using this one. Okay, but I use the Spellbinders letterpress plate. Okay, onto this one. Therefore, what I'm saying is that, okay, I just needed to use a little bit of shim. Okay, I added 2, because remember, this is kind of, okay, so I added 2 papers on top of that, and then I run it through, Okay, I run it through this one. Okay, this one. And this is what I got. Okay, so that's beautiful. I don't know if you can see it, but that there's a texture, and look at the images. It's so beautiful. And immediately after, you can already touch it because the ink is actually debossed. It's under. Okay, it's not over. So it's beautiful. It's really a very beautiful and luxe way to create your images. Okay, so now let's actually do one. All right. So you can see how exactly I did that. So this is magnetic. Okay, so your chase has this magnetic thing in the middle. Okay, like so. All right. And so what you do is after that, you go grab your... Okay, but before we do that, okay, so let's fix our platen. All right. So if you can see, I make sure that I always use that side. So that side is the one that's only scratched. This one is clean. Okay, so what I do is I will put... Okay, so there is my image of... Okay, the one I want to do a letterpress of, right? Okay, so this is my paper. All right, so I want to... Okay, put this onto the A2. So there are registration marks that will tell me more or less, okay, where I should put it. Okay, so I normally make it a little bit bigger, and then I just cut it so that in the event that, the, what do you call this? The washi tape or something, rips or messes it up. So... Okay, so I think, you have a little bit of a... What do you call this? A little bit of a give, so to speak, so that you'll still end up with a nice product. All right, so hold on. I think I made it wrong. Okay, I attached the wrong side. Okay, because this one... Okay, I saw where I made a mistake. Okay. Anyway, this is gonna be at the back. All right, so I want... Where's the part? Okay, that one. Okay, so that is the part that... Okay, so the part that will do like that to the paper, that will... will have contact with the press plate. Okay, has to be that one. Okay, so it's right side up, so to speak. Okay, and then so that's ready. Okay, so now let's prepare our... Okay, the one in the chase. So our press plate. Where is now my ink? That is always my issue. Things seem to have a way of losing. Okay, getting lost. All right, so I simply... Okay, so I'm using an archival ink first. Okay, so normally I would put, as I said, that Glad wrap. Okay, because sometimes, because it's actually very thin. Oh, see? I accidentally, what do you call this? Let go of the ink, and it touched the magnetic part of the chase. And so I had to clean that up because it might have the tendency to actually also show up in my card. Okay, so I will clean up. Okay, clean. Okay, and then I will just, clean up more to remove, the, what do you call that? The stains as much as I can after. All right. Okay, so, and then the next thing I do is, remember I told you this somehow kind of wobbles a little bit. It's not very firm. All right, so I do like that first, and then the bottom. Okay, so if you can see, this one can, if you push it, it's gonna attach itself towards that one, right? To the platen, to the chase. All right, so let's do this. Okay, so let's now put it into the platinum. Okay, so the platinum spellbinders machine. When I put it, okay, so I make sure that, okay, I will not move it forward and then back. Okay, just one way. All right, and so I will push it. So when you push it, okay, this one automatically will be depressed. Okay, will be pushed down. Okay, so there a little bit of a pressure. I can feel a little bit of a pressure. All right, and then I will not make it go back. Okay. It's underneath my monitor. All right, and then you can just lift it like so. Okay, and there's your image. How beautiful is that? Right, so I don't know if you can see how like the detail and it's debossed, right? So you can watercolor this, you can color it with alcohol markers, or you can pencils. It's up to you. As is where is, it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, now I'm gonna show you that I can also do this. Okay, and then using this one, okay, onto the platinum. Okay, so this is no longer very basic. Okay, okay, this is no longer very basic, my friends, but I'm just want to show you that you can actually do it. Okay, so if you have some reason, maybe you got an access to, let's say, a pre-love, or maybe a somebody did a sale. Hold on, I'm looking for scissors. Okay, where are the scissors? Because I need to put an adhesive onto the back of, okay, our press plate. Now, where did I put the press plate? Where did I put her? Okay, where did I put her, friends? Did you see where I placed her? Okay, so this is the result for that one. That where did I put her? This is so crazy. I'm the only one here. And I cannot find her. Where did I put her? Okay, paper, washi tape. This one, chase. Okay, this one. Where in the world? I can't find it. This is crazy. Huh? Somebody? Okay, oh, it's there. Okay. Of course, it is in the... Okay, again, as I said, this one had magnetic. All right, so the Letterpress has a magnetic mat on that's onto the, what do you call that? The chase. So this one does not have, so I had to put that double-sided adhesive. Okay, and the nice thing about this adhesive that came with the Letterpress from We Are Memory Keepers is that it doesn't leave like a stain. Okay, when you remove it, it's nice. Okay, so we can use, okay, again, the archival. You can use your Letterpress, inks, of course. It's just that almost when I did the episode. By the way, I have in the links in the description of this video for the live streams that I actually created samples, card samples for all of these. So if you would love to check that out, please do so. It's all in the link. All right. And of course, using the same kind of paper, okay, I will attach it now onto this. Okay, like so. Okay, where is my washi tape? Okay. Hold on. Oh, there, cotton ball. You know, I'm going to show you. It says Kohow Bell. What's a Kohow Bell? That's cotton. I couldn't read my own handwriting. Cotton. Sorry, Justine. All right. So anyway, in the case, Justin would check this out. Yes, that's cotton ball, the lamp. All right. So there you go. Okay. And then I'll just close that. Okay. And then I add 2 shims. Okay. Of this. Okay. Watercolor paper onto the top of it. And I will run it through. Okay, this one. My Spellbinders Platinum. Alright. Oh. What happened? Will I destroy this again? Okay, so maybe no need. Okay. So again, when you are testing, okay, look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Look. Let's do a side by side. Okay, so the other one is still attached to the Letterpress chasen. I mean the platen. Okay, and the other one is not chasen, it's chase. Okay, this is the platen, you can see. Still there, and this is the one done, okay, using the letterpress plate. Can you see a difference? Almost none, right? So somehow you can, okay, again, the plates of the letterpress from Spellbinders, you can use, okay, onto your original letterpress plate, okay, system. Okay, from We Are Memory Keepers, whether on the original Machine Evolution or on the Platinum, but not, okay, the letterpress plates like this one. You cannot use it on your Platinum. Okay, this one with these plates on the Platinum, no. But this one with this on the Evolution, absolutely. Okay, so the letterpress plates with this one on the Evolution Spellbinders, okay. So I hope that that's kind of clear, hopefully. All right, so if you can see, all right, so can't see actually the difference. It's just one is portrait, another one is landscape, right? Okay, so I can hear my son watching on replay. Okay, so let me go back to the chat first before I continue on. Oh, Wim said, okay, I remember during our printmaking classes, we used clove oil to thin the ink we use, and it smelled so good. Wow. How about trying that, Wims? I'm trying to remember what we used to clean our plates. I want to show you how I actually clean it. Yes. Okay, because the ink is oil-based. Yes. So a good dishwashing liquid can remove the oil. Yes, it does, but the stain. It stains. So that's the thing I don't like. Right? So I don't like stains. But, you know, that's how it is with most of the things that we use. Yes, cotton ball. I'm going to show you. Okay, my handwriting is really bad. I remember my students after the class, I gave them cards. I said, wow, teacher, the cards are so beautiful, but sorry, we can't understand. Okay. So I had to read it to them. See, the cotton ball. I read it as Kohow ball. It's cotton. My own handwriting. Okay. Therefore, that's why. But in fairness, my calligraphy is better, way better than my handwriting. All right. Okay, so let's go back to this one and read again. All right. So yes, it's beautiful. I'm gonna run. Time for Aquafit. Yes, thank you, Yvette. Thanks so much for dropping by. All right. So clean up. Okay, but before we do that, let's move back to our PowerPoint. Oop, not that one. This one. All right. So we're done with the showing you the ano, and of course the techniques I showed you already. So you need to secure the plate in press, align with the paper position guides. Both have that. All right. So the only difference is that the letterpress has a magnetic base, and the plates are actually metal. Okay. The other one, that of We Are Memory Keepers, it's actually acrylic, and you attach it with a double-sided adhesive that they actually came with, right? The difference is that I tried using, the ones that I use regularly, the double-sided one. When you clean up or you remove it, it does have this, like a gummy thingy that stays. But with the one that came with letterpress from Our Memory Keepers, you can easily remove it. Okay, it doesn't leave any residue. There you go, the word residue. All right, so for inking, in the letterpress, in the beginning, it's just like how you do it in the real, letterpress machines where they brayer the ink, right? So nowadays, no, because it's really messy. I tell you, it was so messy that is one of the things that I actually turned me off initially to it, because it's like, oh my, and I'm, like I'm all over the place and something like that. It's like I have, ink on my face, on my shoulders, everywhere, right? So to avoid over inking because it prevents smudging, right? And then pressing, apply steady, even pressure. And then of course you need to lift to reveal the crisp debossed print. Okay. Another nice thing about the letterpress inks, the minute that you pass it through, you can actually run your fingers through it and it won't smudge. It's dead. It's dry. Okay, immediately it's dry. Now, if you use other inks, you have to test first. Okay, especially if you try using like pigment ink, right? All right. So, and then you can have multicolor printing, right? Like the letterpress inks actually come in different colors. Okay. Okay. So they do come in different colors. So they have French blue, saffron, tawny brown, mulberry, wildberry, cosmic sky, the black, of course, and bark. And I know that they added more colors, but these are the only ones I have. And then, but I do have quite a lot of the different colors of archival ink. So since almost all of these are dry, I really need to buy reinkers. That's why I used an archival ink tonight instead of the letterpress, because they're pretty dried up already, right? So, okay. So now the cleanup. Okay. So remember, as I said, I like this, okay, in a sense that it's easier, for the cleanup. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, so you see that one? Okay, it lifts up so easily. I'll show you. Okay. Okay. Like so. No residue whatsoever. And then you can just put it back onto, the release tape, and you can reuse until it no longer is sticky. All right. And then you can just put the other side of it. Okay. And then use it for another, project. Okay, and then just wipe. Okay, just wipe. Okay, this one, it's so easy. I actually just wipe it with a baby wipe. Hold on, I will just get a new one. Okay, so you just wipe with, and then double it up with the dry one. The same thing here, and then that's it. Okay, so this one's good to go. Okay, now for the letterpress plate though, this one, because it's actually, acrylic, is also easy to clean. Okay, so just remove my my washi tape. Okay, so, and then I just clean up. Okay, so sometimes alcohol if it's a little bit oily. Okay, and then now the chase. Okay, so for the chase, where is it? Okay, and then we'll clean up cotton bell last. Okay. Okay, so let's remove this one first, because I don't want. There you go. So for that one, see, I don't want that. All right. So what I do first, okay, initially, all right. So baby wipes or a piece of rug that is a little bit wet, right? And then I will go through it, okay, with my, okay, all-purpose stamp cleaner or whatever, stamp cleaner you have, okay, onto it. Like so. See, the rubber or the foam is gone. Okay, I broke it already. Okay, so you see that sometimes it helps, sometimes it does not. All right. So again, you can no longer, it's already clean. It's just that the stain. So what I did find helpful for me, that's why I have been able to keep it at a minimal, the staining, is that I cover it with Glad wrap. Okay, so the one that you actually use to cover up your food before you put it in the fridge, right? So that one has helped. Okay. So there, you see? I'm still trying to remove and it's getting better. Before I actually put it aside. Okay, so let's do another one. Okay. In fairness, the registration lines, see? Okay, really isn't removed. Okay, and I think that's the best I can do for this one. It's really gonna stain. Anyway, remember, I used archival ink for this. So that's what archival inks actually are for. They really are difficult to remove. All right, so that's it. All right, so that is, okay, your letterpress. Okay, and we are memory keepers, okay, letterpress system. Okay, so they do differ in plates and how you actually attach them. Okay, so let's go back to this one. Okay, so the do's and don'ts. Okay, do use thick soft paper for best impression. Again, you can use any kind. I've used all different kinds. I use craft paper, I've used cotton paper, I've used the regular paper we use for card making, for our card fronts, right? So it's okay. But then if you want really nice, deep impressions, so the higher the cotton quality or cotton content rather of your paper, the better the impressions. Okay, and of course, do tests on scrap paper before the final print, and do clean plates immediately after use. All right, so again, it cleans. It's just that if you don't want it to be stained. Okay, so I did put links to some of the other videos that I did in the past. So especially with my current hack about how to prevent it from, getting so dirty. I have not changed. You can actually buy a new magnetic, like the magnetic mat for your chase. Okay, but I've never replaced it yet. So don't overload the ink. Less is better. You can just add on. Okay, and don't rush. Uneven pressure causes blurred prints. Okay, so again, with the plates of the letterpress, since they're acrylic, okay, so most of the time, if your paper is really not that cotton rich, the impressions may not be very even, as I showed you a while ago, right? Look at that. Okay, look at this one. Right? Compared to, okay, these are the plates. This one, okay, the plates are from Spellbinders, but I run it through the two machines. So I feel that it's the plates, because these are acrylic plates, these are metal plates. So I feel that the letterpress plates that are metal are better than the ones that are acrylic. Okay, and then Don't store plates dirty or stocked without protection. Okay. And of course, storage. Store flat in protective sleeves or binders, especially with this one. All right. So the Letterpress plate, right? So this one, okay. So you don't want to store it like that. So you want to store it just like that. Okay. So that the suppleness of the springs will always be as it is, right? So I let it stay like that. Okay, so I always put it back in its original container, okay, in the box, because the box has that perfect, fit for it. Okay, unless you have something where you don't put something on top of it. Okay, just make it stay as it is. All right, and then, okay, next is seal tightly and store in cool, dry place your inks. Okay, and then remember this inks when you use it. Okay, so remember when we use the ink. Okay, unlike some, okay, where you just, let's say for example this one, right? So where you just tap. Okay, so you actually use less ink, right? But when you're letter pressing, so you want it really saturated with the ink, but not too much. So you tap, twist, tap, twist, tap, twist. So your inks actually get used up faster than, when you're just regularly, inking. And so make sure that you seal tightly, store in a cool, dry place. Okay, and if you are using a brayer still, of course, clean the brayer. And paper store flat to prevent warping before pressing. All right, so a lot of project inspiration. You have minimalist thank you cards, monogrammed gift tags, wedding save the dates, elegant journal covers, foil plus letterpress combo projects. I actually have samples for all of these in the linked videos of this video. It's there. Okay, so I actually have an episode where I combined foiling with letterpressing. So it's also linked in the description of this video. And as a wrap up, letterpress adds elegance and texture you can feel. And practice does make perfect, okay? And even create accidents like what happened to me earlier on, right? So because I just wanted to test things out, right? So just be careful, because you might actually ruin or break one of the machines, right? So it's a good thing that the Spellbinder's Platinum didn't break, but the letterpress the letterpress system did crack a bit. So but it not all throughout, but probably sooner than later it's gonna break. Encourage also to share. Okay, so I'd like to encourage everyone to share your own letterpress projects and use CEDA 2025 or craft every day in August. And yes, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I am Mommy Guide Inc. on all the socials. All right, so for tomorrow, I actually forgot to put there. Okay, but it's already scheduled. I will be featuring one of the scariest things that I always have to do, okay, as a crafty content creator, and that's coloring. Okay, again, I'm no expert in coloring. Okay, it's more of a challenge. Okay, and since it's just very basic, so I think basics or beginners can actually even resonate with me as I go through this episode. So I will go through different coloring medium that a beginner crafter might want to dabble in. So you have your alcohol ink markers, your color pencils like your Prisma, and then of course watercolor, which I will absolutely, let's see what I'm gonna make with that, or if I can actually do something about that. All right, so I haven't been able to actually do coloring for the past maybe 2 months, because all the recent projects that I had, basically I just used ephemera, right? And just fuzzy cutting and clustering and layering, so not much of coloring. So I think I've not done coloring for about a month and a half to 2 months already. So that's gonna be a challenge for me as well as for those who are beginners for tomorrow. So yes, tomorrow is all about coloring, right? So that is going to be a challenge. All right, so and Barbara is here. Good morning, Barbara. Thank you so much for dropping by. Yes, coloring. What medium? So yes, all. Okay, so we will try to do all, just very basics. Okay, but please feel free to join us in the chat and give tips. Okay, for our newbies as well as for me. Although I am not actually a newbie in coloring, but I think my my skill has not really reached a level that I could say it's okay. That is okay. That's doable, right? So, but I'm very much inspired by people in the community like Wims, and of course Meg, Lynn, Yvette, and of course Dalis, who, and also, although they're not here, T and Don, who has pushed me to just embrace, and they always tell me, the thing that really stuck to my head is just the process. Because when it's like initially you look at it, it's so ugly, but they said just trust the process, right? And when I see them like do it in their videos, it's just that true enough, right? In the beginning it doesn't probably look quite well, but as you go and watch them go through it, it's actually very relaxing to watch them do it. But when I'm the one doing it, I'm not relaxed. I'm so stressed, right? But indeed, the process works, and eventually we get to see their amazing, amazing output. So tomorrow, okay, join me because I need moral support. In my episode for tomorrow. All right, what did Barbara say? Coloring can be a challenge. I need so much practice, but just enjoying it helps. Yes, Barbara, and I think that's one of the things that I never, it's like, if it's not perfect enough or if it's not good enough, I don't feel okay with it. But something that I've learned in the past couple of years that I've been doing content, and I had been forced because I have of course, when you stop, you need to color most of the time, right? So in doing so, slowly, my mindset has opened up to the possibility that it's okay, right? So anyway, it's I'll judge it, right? So people, you just have to, to accept that this is what you did and be happy with it, right? So you also, the people also in the community has helped me, be less anxious about it because you guys are super supportive and not judgmental. Yes, Wim said just like probably drawing as well. Okay, Wim's always tells me practice. And the nice thing about her is that she would tell me where I made a mistake. Sometimes she would even like message me, oh, you do this exactly how I'm supposed to do it. And I really am very appreciative of that. I'm back. Had to make more coffee. Jana. Okay, we're actually done. All right. Yes. Hello, Jana from Barbara. And patience. Yes, that is patience. I'm tuning in so that it's okay. It's okay, Shirley. I hope to see you tomorrow, my friend. And if you can, all right, maybe if I can convince Dinky, all right, a dear friend of mine. Okay, we meet up every Thursdays lately and we do play board games with our kids and they live stream before I actually do. So hopefully I can convince her to hop along beside me so there's two of us coloring. All right, let's see if I can convince her to do that. Even if you don't need to show your face, okay, just be here with me on the table, right? So again, thank you. I watched most of it. Oh, thank you so much, Jana. I know that you are so busy, and probably every now and then, you're also tired, and I really appreciate that you guys, just drop by, say hi, sometimes even offer advice, tell me, oh, you're muted, stuff like that, right? Official lurker. Official lurker, my dear friend. All right, hopefully tomorrow you'll not be a lurker and you'll be part of my show. Okay, I will try to convince you tomorrow. Yes, that would be fun. See? Go Shirls, join me tomorrow. All right, so with that, thank you so much again, my dear friends, for dropping by. Of course, whoops, I need to do my usual, call to action, and that is, please don't forget to like this video before we leave, and yes, hit that notification bell so you do get notified when I do go live or upload videos or shorts. Yes, I'm going back to making shorts hopefully this week. And please, if you are new to the channel and you like what you see thus far, I have more than 1,000 videos on this channel, and so please do subscribe, right? And don't forget to subscribe and click all right? And of course, share away, especially this series where we actually want to feature things that are actually best for beginners. Now, if you want a little bit more advanced topics, there are also things like there that are here in my channel, and I've started to link some of those also in the description. And of course, another way is to actually look at the chat on replay and see and check out the channels of our amazing people in the chat, because almost all of them are content creators as well, and they do have crafty channels or on their social media pages, whether on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. With that, thank you so much again. See you again tomorrow, and have a great blessed rest of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.